Here's 25 of the best roulette strategies for you to try out in 2025. If you want to watch me put these strategies to the test with real money at an online casino, there's links in the description or in the top right corner. But please stay until the end of the video, as I'll highlight the top 2 mistakes and what you can do to avoid them. To make things easy, the bet sizes I mention will be for a $1,000 bankroll. Please scale up or down your bet amounts depending on your bankroll. Let's go. Number 25 is DTF, which apparently stands for Drunk, Tolerant and Fun. It's super easy to set up. There's a few variations to the bet sizes, but my favourite variation looks like this. You bet $40 on 2 of the 3 dozens, and then $25 on a 6 line, also known as a double street, in the remaining dozen. This gives you 30 out of 37 numbers covered. When you hit a number in your dozens, you will win $15 profit, and when you hit your 6 line bet, that's a $45 profit. With just 7 losing numbers, you can expect to make a profit 81% of the time. When you do hit one of your 7 losing numbers, you need to double your bets. You can see my variation and the progression I added to this roulette system by clicking here. Number 24, we have the cannon roulette system. To play this strategy, you have $10 on 9 numbers. Not just any old numbers, you are going to create little pockets of profit by betting on 3 numbers and the numbers either side. So for example, your first bet is on 1, 2 and 3, and then 20 and 33, which are next to number 1, 21 and 25, which is next to number 2, and 26 and 35, which are next to number 3. When you win, you move up to the next street, which is 4, 5 and 6, and the 2 numbers either side, and so on. If you lose 5 spins in a row, move up to the next level. Your target is to win 70 units, or in this example, $700, before you walk away. Number 23 is the Holy Grail, a bit of an aggressive system that I can personally tell you can get out of hand if you hit some bad luck. But it is easy to play, and when it works like a charm. After getting my ass kicked with the original version, I edited the profit target and betting amount slightly, and this is what I would recommend if playing the Holy Grail system. Bet $5 on 2 of the 3 dozens for a total bet of $10. After a winner, just rebet. On a losing bet, increase both of your dozens by $5 each. Once you are 5% in profit, or in our example, $50, reset both of your bets to the original $5 starting bet. If you're feeling a bit risky, you can go up to 10% of your balance before resetting, but if you want to minimise risk, I would recommend resetting after just a 5% target. Number 22 is the Romanovski, a classic strategy that covers a huge 86.5% of the wheel, meaning you'll win far more spins than you lose. To set up the Romanovski bet, you place $30 on 2 of the 3 dozens and $10 on 2 corners in the remaining dozen. This only gives you 5 losing numbers where you will lose your $80 bet, and the remaining 32 winning numbers return a profit of $10 each time. When you do hit a losing bet, you have a few different options. My personal recommendation is to triple your bet and win 3 times in a row before resetting back to the base bet. Other people prefer to double and win 4 in a row, but that way only recoups your losses rather than making profit. I say bite the bullet and triple up so you can make some profit if the next 3 spins are winners. Number 21, we have the Triplingale. Borrowing the principles of the classic martingale, but this time we are covering 24 out of 37 numbers and tripling our bet after a loser. Betting $5 on 2 of the 3 dozens for a total bet of $10, when we hit a losing bet, we triple our next one. Now we have $15 on 2 of the 3 dozens for a total bet of $30. Lose again, we would have $45 on 2 of the 3 dozens for a total bet of $90, and so on. When we do hit a winner, we will have made $5 profit and we can reset back down to the original base bet of $5 on each dozen. This strategy is effective because it takes advantage of roulette table minimum and maximum bets compared to the regular martingale system. Number 20 is our first positive progression strategy, and it's the Hopscotch. It's great fun to play, and with a bit of luck, we can hit it big. With the Hopscotch, we bet $10 on an even chance bet, like red or black. If this wins, we take our $20 returns and put it all back on the table by placing $10 each on 2 of the 3 dozens. Winning this will return $30. We now pocket $10 and put $20 back on an even chance bet. If this wins, we put our $40 returns back on the table, split evenly, $20 on 2 of the 3 dozens. When this wins, it returns $60 and we have completed the hopscotch. Number 19 is a popular strategy, mainly because of the creator, and that's the James Bond strategy. The bet setup looks like this. Place $140 on 19 to 36, $50 on a 6 line that covers the numbers 13 to 18, and a $10 bet on number 0. If the 19 to 36 bet lands, it provides an $80 profit. If the 6 line bet lands, then we will win a $100 profit, and if the 0 lands, that's a $160 profit. The original strategy recommends doubling your bet after a loser. I don't actually recommend doing that, as even after doubling your bet, should the 19 to 36 numbers land, you haven't even recouped your losses. If, like me, you're not keen on flat betting systems, there is a twisted James Bond version that I do enjoy playing. Number 18, another popular one, is the Ploppy 3-2 system. This strategy aims to take advantage of the roulette table by capitalising on the uneven colours in the columns. To bet the Ploppy 3-2 system, you'll need to have a ratio of 3 units on the top column and 2 units on black. So with a $1,000 bankroll, a sensible bet would be $150 on the top column and $100 on black. The reason for this setup is because the top column has 8 out of 12 numbers that are red. This way, betting on black and the top column, you cover all 18 black numbers plus the 8 red numbers that sit in the top column, which means a total of 26 out of 37 numbers are going to bring home a profit. We also have the added excitement of 4 jackpot numbers, which are black and in the top column. Bankroll management is really important with this strategy, and I recommend walking away when you're 7 units in profit, or in our case, $350. That number isn't pulled out of thin air, that's the amount of profit you receive when hitting one of your jackpot numbers. Number 17, we have the Labouchere. The Labouchere is a highly effective strategy for making small wins with a large bankroll. By going to the roulette table with a target profit amount in mind makes this a very strategic style of play. To play the Labouchere, you choose a win amount, let's make it $100 in our example, then we break up the $100 into 10 equal amounts. With the classic Labouchere system, we add the first and last number on the list and place this amount on an even chance bet. After a winning bet, cross off the first and last numbers on our list. When we lose, we add this losing amount to the end of our list. When our list is complete, we will have made $100 profit just as we set out to do. This one can be a bit fiddly, writing out your numbers and paying close attention to the numbers on the list, and for that reason, I have a completely free spreadsheet you can download in our community Discord to help you calculate your bets. Number 16 is the Cavarus system. The classic Cavarus system is set up like this: $10 on 0, 1, 2 and 3, $10 on the splits that cover 8, 11, 13, 14, 15, 18, 17, 20 and 27, 30, and then a $20 bet on the N6 line that covers 31 to 36, so that's a total bet of $80. The bets are placed in a way so that they cover sections of the wheel, as the majority of the winning numbers are clumped together in small pockets on the wheel. The corner bet wins $10, the N6 line wins $40, and the split bets give us a $90 profit. We do have 17 numbers that lose all our money, so that's a 46% probability of losing each spin. I personally enjoy a Dalembert system, where I increase bets by 1 unit after a losing spin, but the traditional Cavarus system is a simple flat betting system. Number 15 is the paddle Slore strategy, which apparently stands for play all day and still leave a winner. It's a great system that aims to capitalise on the discrepancies within the roulette layout. It's essentially the opposite of the Ploppy 3-2 system, whereby the goal is to create more jackpot numbers. This time, with the paddle Slore strategy, we bet $40 on black and $20 in the middle column. You'll remember that the top column had mostly red numbers, while this time the middle column has mostly black numbers, 8 out of 12 to be exact. Not only this, but we also have $10 on the 7-12 6 line and $10 on the 25-36 line. Adding these 6 lines gives us 4 extra special jackpot numbers, which would be 8, 11, 26 and 29. As these numbers are in one of the 6 lines, in the middle column, and of course are black. With this setup, all of the red numbers lose money. Some lose everything and some lose just a little bit. Any black number that isn't in the middle column or doesn't touch a 6 line is a push. Black numbers in the middle column win a $60 profit, and then the 4 jackpot numbers I mentioned give us a nice $120 profit. As the name suggests, as you have many pushes and numbers with small losses, you can play this strategy for a long time without getting wiped out. When you do hit a jackpot number, your bankroll shoots up very quickly. The suggested progression for the paddle Slore strategy is a Dalembert style progression, where we increase by 1 unit on a losing bet and resetting if your bankroll gets into session profit. However, I disagree with increasing after every small loss because eventually your bets can get seriously big. Number 14 is tie the corners, and it's not too dissimilar from the paddle Slore, where you can play for a long time without seeing your bankroll get into too much trouble. You'll find yourself hitting a number of pushes, and the goal is to stay in the game long enough to hit one of your jackpot numbers. With tie the corners, you need to start with a very small bet in comparison to your bankroll. Even with a $1,000 bankroll, the starting bet is just $6. First, you choose a jackpot number that's in the middle column. Let's, for this example, say it's number 20. You place $2 on the corner bet that covers 17 to 21 and $2 on the corner bet that covers 19-23. In addition, you place $2 on the middle column. With this setup, any number that's in the middle column that doesn't touch a corner bet is a push. The 4 numbers that are in the corner bet but not in the middle column pay a $12 profit. We have 2 numbers that are in one of the corner bets and the middle column, which returns $18 profit, and the jackpot number would return a $36 profit. With this tie the corner system, after each loss, we increase our bets by 1 unit each time we lose. This is why you need to start with small bets. Only 7 numbers are profitable. 9 are pushes, meaning that the remaining 21 numbers cause us to lose money. Therefore, we are 3 times more likely to lose than we are to win. But when we do hit a winner, especially if our lucky jackpot number lands, we can recoup our losses and additional profits. Number 13 is called SSS, which stands for Simple, Smart, Safe. It's definitely simple. Recent results would suggest it's smart. Is it safe? Well, all roulette strategies have risk, and I can name 20 safer roulette strategies than this one. But having said that, it does make the list because of its simplicity and it's good fun to play. All you have to do is start with a $10 bet on any even chance bet. You increase your bet by $10 after a win, and you increase your bet by $20 after a loser. So no matter the outcome, your bets are going to increase. That is until you make $50 in profit. Once you have made $50 in profit, you simply reset your bet back down to $10. Sounds mental, I know, but if you can avoid a long streak of bad luck, you will get to your reset target more often than not. Of course, the problem is, if you don't get to the reset target, you have lost $1,000, chasing a $50 win. Number 12 is the poison strategy. This strategy focuses on straight up bets on a section of the wheel, and there's a couple of variations to the strategy. The 2 most popular ways to play are to cover 5 numbers or 7 numbers. I personally prefer the 7 number variation, so I'll use that in this example. The concept is simple. Cover 7 numbers for $10 each, for a total bet of $70. If you lose 5 bets in a row, increase your bet on each number by $10, so now the total bet is $140. If you hit another 5 losers, increase by another $10 on each number, for a total bet of $210. When you hit a winner, reset back down to your 7 numbers with $10 each. When implementing the poison strategy, many players choose the number 0 and the 6 numbers around it. The theory being that the casino aims for the number 0 as that's what gives them the edge. I personally don't share this belief, and I would suggest you pick any section of 7 numbers that you want. Number 11 is the V28 Hybrid. The classic version of this bet probably wouldn't make this list. It's the added hybrid progression that I believe makes this strategy worth playing. To set up the strategy, you place $75 in the middle dozen, $25 on 2 non-overlapping corners in the first dozen, and $25 on 2 non-overlapping corners in the third dozen, giving you 28 numbers that are winners, hence the name. Total bet is a huge $170, but each winner will net you $50 profit. The hybrid betting progression suggests that you put your previous winnings back on the table for the next spin, keeping with the same 3-to-1 ratio regarding the corners and the dozen bets. With the $50 profit, we increased the corner bet by $5 and the dozen bet by $15. Now we have $30 on our 4 corners and $90 on our dozen, giving a total bet of $210. After 2 wins in a row, you reset back down to the base bet of $175. Could you hit a losing number, which you can expect to do 24% of the time, you need to double your bet and follow the same progression when you hit a winner. Number 10 is the cross-lapping strategy. The original version of this strategy suggests betting 7 units on the previous winning dozen and at the same time betting 1 unit each on the last winning number and its 3 neighbouring numbers either side, which is a total of 7 numbers. So in our example, this would be $35 on a dozen and then $5 on 7 numbers, which is another $35, making the total bet $70. This strategy is fantastic when repeat numbers land, and it also creates additional jackpot numbers, which are winning numbers and dozens at the same time. The concept is fantastic, and I've added a betting progression to the cross-lapping strategy, which incorporates the Fibonacci dozens and the number 1 strategy in this video. Speaking of the Fibonacci dozens, that's number 9 on this list. I've mentioned many times that the Fibonacci betting sequence is a fantastic strategy to deploy, but only if you're playing it on the correct bets. I see many players using this on even chance bets and it just doesn't work. The sequence looks like this: 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89 and so on. For simplicity, let's assume we pick a single dozen and increase our bets in accordance to the Fibonacci sequence each time we lose. In our example, we'll lose 3 bets before eventually winning. We will have bet 1, then 2, meaning a total loss of $4. Our 4th bet on the Fibonacci sequence means that we bet $3. With a payout of 2-to-1, when a winner lands, this returns a total of $9. That's $6 profit on that spin, and when we consider the $4 lost on the 3 previous spins, we are still $2 in profit and therefore reset our bet to the start. The fantastic thing about this betting technique is that no matter whereabouts on the sequence you are, when you hit a winning number, you will have recouped your losses and made profit. In fact, you make more profit the further down the sequence you get, as if you're rewarded for your bravery. Many people will be surprised to see this roulette strategy so early in the video. The reason being is there is a better way to play the Fibonacci sequence, but for simplicity, this is still a solid strategy. Number 8 is the end game, a community favourite, but perhaps on the more complicated end of the spectrum. The strategy uses a betting progression very similar to the Fibonacci progression, and it introduces a secondary bet that starts running when your original bet has lost 3 times in a row. To start the endgame, you bet on either a single column or a single dozen. You can follow the betting progression each time you lose, which is essentially the Fibonacci system, just slightly altered. After losing 3 bets in a row, you now add your second bet, which is either a column or a dozen, whichever you didn't choose with your original bet. This way, you have 4 jackpot numbers that can cause both bets to win. When you hit one of your jackpot numbers, you can reset to the start of the strategy. If your lowest bet wins, you stay betting on your current tier, and if your highest bet wins, you can move down a tier. If you win your high bet 3 times without hitting a loser, then you can reset your bet. Don't be put off by what might sound complicated. With the helpful spreadsheet available to download, this strategy is a well-calculated one. It will be worth watching the full demonstration of this strategy using the link in the description after watching this video, of course. Number 7 is Double D36. I've made 2 videos explaining how I think this Double D36 strategy doesn't work and is highly overrated, but it seems to win money despite the progression being far too aggressive. The Double D36 starts with a $10 bet on a single dozen, and then it follows a Dalembert style principle, going up 1 unit on a loser and down 1 unit on a winner. The problem with this betting style on a single dozen bet is that you can expect to lose twice as many bets as you will win, and therefore the bets will inevitably get bigger and bigger. The rule that saved this strategy from getting out of hand is the reset at profit target rule. Being quite a safe player, I suggest your reset profit target on the small side at around $50, otherwise your bets can start running away from you. Number 6 is my 9 streets hybrid progression. It takes the standard 9 streets bet and adds quite an aggressive hybrid betting progression to it. I like this strategy so much, I submitted it to my roulette tournament. It was one spin away from going bust, but then recovered and went on to make over $1,000 in less than 30 minutes. The 9 street hybrid progression starts with a $10 bet on 9 of the 12 streets for $90 total bet. After a win, you then increase all of your bets by 50%, so now you have $15 on 9 streets for a total bet of $135. After 2 wins in a row, you can reset back down to the base bet of just $10 on each street. On a losing bet, you need to double your next bet, but don't forget to follow the progression and add 50% onto your next bet if it wins. This means if you don't win 2 bets in a row, this 9 street hybrid progression can destroy your bankroll. However, with 27 out of 37 numbers covered, that gives you a 73% probability of winning each spin. Entering the top 5, we have double up dozens. I've gone on the record saying this is one of the safest ways to win $100 whilst playing roulette. It's also one of the easiest strategies to play. We simply bet $10 on 2 of the 3 dozens for a total bet of $20. On a winning bet, we collect our $10 profit and rebet. On a losing bet, we double up our bets and attempt to win 2 in a row before we reset back down to the $10 on each dozen. If your bets get too big, for example $80 or $160 on each dozen, you might just want to win 1 bet in a row and then reset. Even though this is number 5 on the list, I feel it's one of the most overlooked roulette strategies as I don't see many people playing it, despite its simplicity and solid success rate. Number 4 is the Oscars grind. I couldn't have a list of roulette strategies without the Oscars grind system on it. A true classic that brings home the money so often for me. It might actually be my lucky strategy. The issue with the Oscars grind is that you need to have a bit of time and patience. And as the name suggests, if the ball doesn't land your way, then this can be a bit of a grind. And if the ball really doesn't land your way, then of course you can still lose, but that's true with every strategy. The Oscars grind is also pretty unique, whereby you don't increase your bets after a loser, instead you only increase after a winner. You only want to win 1 unit at a time, before resetting back to your original base bet, and this is why the Oscars grind is also an absolute legendary system when it comes to bankroll management. So in our example, let's have $10 as our 1 unit. Here's how it works. We place $10 on any even chance bet. On a losing bet, simply rebet the same amount. On a winner, we increase. However, we don't increase our bet if we just made our $10 profit goal. And we also don't increase if we don't need to bet any more to hit our $10 profit goal. Let's say we wanted to win $50 for the day. We simply follow these rules and tick off our $10 profit goal 5 times. You will notice when you play the Oscars grind, despite hitting a severe losing streak, because your bets don't increase, you can often still make it to your $10 profit goal. Entering the top 3, it's the double Dalembert dozens, taken from the original concept of the Dalembert, but this version is better, in my opinion. With the original Dalembert system, you go up 1 unit after a losing bet and down 1 unit after a winning bet. If you're regular to the channel, you'll know that if the true probabilities play out while using this betting progression, then you will win money. With the double Dalembert, we place a bet on 2 of the 3 dozens. I'll explain in a moment the optimum bet and why so many people get this wrong. Because we have a 64.8% probability of winning whilst betting on 2 of the 3 dozens, when we do hit a losing bet, we are going to need to increase our next bet by 2 units. On a winning bet, similar to the original Dalembert, we can reduce by 1 unit. Let's assume our units are $5 each. That means we will increase by $10 on a loser and decrease by $5 on a winner. With the probability suggesting we win twice as many as we lose, this ratio balances itself out. The main issue I see again and again is players start at the minimum bet. If you have $5 on each dozen for a total bet of $10 and you win, then you can't reduce your bet any further, and in essence, you are not playing the Dalembert system. To play the Dalembert system effectively, you need to start at a betting amount that will allow you to increase or decrease your next bet. With a $1,000 bankroll, I would suggest $40 on both dozens for a total bet of $80. This should give you enough whacks to weather the storm if you hit a losing streak, but it's also big enough to allow you to reduce your bets by $5 on each dozen every time you hit a winner. Just missing out on the top spot. Number 2 is the Matchmaker. I bet you regulars thought this would be the number 1, didn't you? It was close, because there's a reason I put my name to the Matchmaker system, because it's absolutely fantastic if I do say so myself. The Matchmaker is built upon the Labouchere system, where you decide your profit target and then divide the amount by 10 and write it out in a list. But this time, we bet on 2 of the 3 dozens. So if we wanted to make $100, we add 10 and 10, which equals 20. This means we bet $20 on each of the 2 dozens for a total bet of $40. Now, the reason why this strategy is so powerful is because with the Labouchere, you cross off 2 numbers from your list every time you win and only add 1 number on a loser. So even if you won and lost the same amount of bets, you would eventually complete your list and reach your profit goal. But as we're covering 2 out of the 3 dozens, we are expected to win twice for every time we lose, meaning we would have to get considerably unlucky to win and lose the same amount of bets, and even if we did, we would still win money. Now of course, there is a downside to the Matchmaker strategy. It is certainly not a guaranteed way to win money at the roulette table. As the Labouchere system adds the losing amount to the end of our list, our losses will get bigger and bigger, meaning that our total bet starts to grow exponentially. It's not as aggressive as the Triplingale, but a $40 bet can go to a $100 bet, up to a $220 bet, pretty quickly. Fortunately, the Matchmaker strategy has a defense weapon for circumstances like this, and that's when the bets get too big, split them in half. For example, rather than adding $220 to the end of your list, you can add $110 twice. This means you can keep your bets smaller whilst you're on a losing streak, but of course, the trade-off is that you are further away from completing your list. Overall, the Matchmaker strategy is a great way to manage your bankroll. It may look and sound complicated, but with the help of a spreadsheet that you can download completely free within the Discord, this strategy is easy peasy to play. The number 1 strategy to play in 2025 is the Fibonacci neighbours. The Fibonacci neighbours uses the Fibonacci sequence in combination with 13 numbers on the roulette wheel. Unlike the traditional Fibonacci dozens or column strategy, where you cover 12 numbers and are paid 3 times your money, by placing a bet on 13 numbers, we increase our probability of winning by an additional 2.7% each spin. The trade-off is that we are paid 2.8 times our money on a winner, but the beauty of the Fibonacci sequence is that when a winning number does land, we have recouped all of our previous losses and some profit. Here's how it works. We start off with a $1 bet on 13 numbers clustered together. You can choose whichever section of the wheel you prefer. Many like the numbers around 0. I personally like to follow the winning pocket, so I would bet on the previous winning number, the 6 numbers to the left of it, and the 6 numbers to the right. $1 bet on 13 numbers gives us a total bet of $13. After a losing bet, we simply follow the Fibonacci sequence to increase our bets. As mentioned earlier, the Fibonacci sequence goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. Let me give you a quick example of how powerful this Fibonacci neighbour strategy is. Let's assume we lose 5 bets in a row. We will have lost $13 the first spin, $13 the second spin, $26 the third spin, $39 the fourth spin, $65 on the fifth spin. That's a total loss of $156. On the 6th spin, the Fibonacci sequence dictates that we place $8 on our 13 numbers for a total bet of $104. A winning $8 bet on a single number returns $288. That's a massive $184 profit on that spin. And so we have recouped our previous $156 losses and have made $28 profit overall, before we restart back to the start of our sequence. Covering the 13 numbers instead of the 12 in a regular Fibonacci dozen bet means that we compound our probabilities of winning throughout the sequence, making the 13 numbers less risky despite winning a smaller amount when it does land. But before you go and try these strategies yourself, make sure that you are giving yourself the best chance you can of winning. As I mentioned at the start of the video, there's 2 key mistakes that players make that hinder their profit when playing roulette. Number 1 is they play at roulette tables with bad table limit ratios. For example, if the minimum bet of an even chance is $10 and the maximum bet is only $200, then your betting progression is going to get stopped in its tracks very quickly. You won't be able to increase your next bet to the amount needed and the strategy will fail. I recommend everyone consider the table limit ratios before starting a roulette strategy. And if you want to find an online casino with the best tables available to you, as well as fantastic bonuses and rewards, then you can take the quick 2-minute quiz using the link in the description, and I'll recommend the best casino for you, depending on your preferences. The second big mistake players make is poor bankroll management, whether that be your starting bet size or your take profit. But be realistic and don't get greedy. For example, if you play the Matchmaker strategy and want to make $500 with a bankroll of $200, then that's highly likely you will run into some trouble and lose your entire bankroll. Or with the Fibonacci neighbour bet, you can't start with a $1 bet on 13 numbers if you have a bankroll of $50. The strategy will fail after 2 losses, so you need to adapt your bet size accordingly. I do my best to find the optimal bet sizes whilst playing strategies, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more videos on how to do this effectively. Make sure you share this video with a friend and let me know in the comment section what's your go-to roulette strategy.